Okay, so in attaching accessories to the night vision devices, a lot of these things they're all going to be on a PVS 14. It's all going to be set up the same way. There's a threaded section here. It's just exact same as what you're going to have on a camera. Only difference is going to be is you got this little tab right here. You'll have a little tab on any corresponding mount, whether it's a head mount or the weapon mount. You see how these things have that little tab. You line that little tab up with a little slot in the device. You kind of press it in there and you tighten it down. Now, make sure it doesn't go ski jaw when you're tightening it down. It can be a little tricky, but it's not major rocket science. When you tighten it down, you just tighten it hand tight. You're not getting crazy about it. You're not breaking out a wrench or a Leatherman tool. You're just going finger tight, nice and snug, but not ridiculous with it, okay? And you're not using any Loctite or anything like that because you'll be detaching this not long after that. But also realize it's usually an aluminum bolt type thing. It's being threaded into a steel collar. It's not going to come out if you give it a couple of good twists. But once it's tight, it's there. Don't screw with it any more than that. On these swing arm mounts, there's a couple of different ways they go. Now, they all do basically the same thing. They have a PVS 7 style mounting thing here, and what that is made for is that it's made to slide into a slot at the front of a night vision mounting device, whether it's a helmet mount or a head mount. Now, this is a head mount that you're normally going to see on a commercially available device. You go on eBay and you're going to see a whole bunch of helmet mounts available. We're not going to discuss where those probably originally came from, but on commercial devices, they work the same way. Okay, now that's as long as it's compatible with the military stuff. So what you'll have here is, again, on a 14, there's a little electronic thing in there that will reset this device if it was turned on when it was installed. It may reset. You'll have to reset it. Because it's basically every time it goes on and off, the mount is going to automatically kind of reset the system, turn it off. You got a little press tab here. You see a little locking device here. It slides into the front and it snaps in place. Now, once you snap it in place, you can snap it off very quickly, or it can come off on its own accidentally, which means you got to kind of keep an eye on things. That's why you have a lanyard. A lot of guys will put that lanyard around their neck. Some guys will take it off. It depends. But that thing can come unsnapped on its own. If it's defective or broken, it happens all the time. One other thing that happens a lot with the helmet mounts is a helmet mount can flip up out of the way. The guy goes through a doorway, gets in and out of an armored personnel carrier, breaks it off. A lot of this stuff here is plastic. Okay, so we put that on there. We also have a plunger here that we push that in. It's a locking device, so we can adjust that forward and backward on the mount. It's basically a little rail. It kind of floats forward and backward on that mount, a little tension thing. You got to make sure these don't have any broken parts in them, because sometimes they do. Now, this is set up so that the device goes over the left eye. We push this little plunger type of thing, and these work a few different ways, okay? So this one actually pushed the device outward, and we can swing it around, and then it will lock in place, and then that becomes a right eye device. Now, the way some of these others are made is you actually have to tighten and loosen that screw. There's little differences in these things, okay? But this one snaps on. We can do that. This is the one with the wide angle rear lens, so that notice these things. Okay, we're going to tighten that down. We have a little more adjustment in this one, but there's wiggle. Okay, that does move around. It's made to wiggle. It's made not to be yanking on your head. It's got a little give to it. So on the models with a wide angle rear lens, you may not notice that wiggle as you're wearing it. It can become an issue when you're driving and you've got one with a little bit narrower lens assembly. And then this is a little bit newer version. You'll see the knob is a little bit different. It uses a single battery. It's got a little thing on here to let you know the tip for the battery goes to the rear. You're going to see little differences in battery compartments on these, especially on some of the commercial models. But in order to be a PVS 14, the lenses and everything's got to be the same. There's a device, I think it was called the NQ14 or something. There's a few where you start running into situations where not much is compatible. But that's how that works, and we're gonna restart this. That's how the head mount works. I'm gonna go into the weapon mount in another video.